Hey, this is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. It is October 5th, 2021, and here's your news for the day. Drawn and Cornered does daily little news snippets with a little bit of analysis attached to get you through your day with everything you need to know. If that's the sort of thing that you are interested in, definitely subscribe below. Hit that bell so you get notifications every time we release a video Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday on the weekends if anything big happens. So, what you need to know today. The dates for the votes on the two massive bills that deal with most of Biden's agenda at this point have been pushed off until Halloween. Now, Joe Biden is hitting the trail. He's going to different places around the country to try and push this agenda, but he's also talking to the reps that he needs to about getting this done, specifically the progressives yesterday. He talked to the progressives about what he wants removed from the 3.5 trillion bill down to, he said, hopefully he's trying to get around 2 trillion. Now, this is still way above what Joe Manchin and Kristen Sinema have said that they want to see in that bill. And Joe Biden has, from behind the scenes, apparently been rather frustrated with these two and their reticence to adopt these measures and to just pass these bills and to go through it without any sort of paying attention to their own constituency, who seemingly doesn't want this as they got elected, and that's kind of the way that things go. So we're running into this weird issue here that these two senators, which are both coming from purplish red states, are doing what they need to do to remain elected, but not what they need to do to push forward a progressive agenda that doesn't necessarily appeal to their constituency. It's stated specifically by Cori Bush that this has nothing to do with Joe Manchin because these policies don't affect him or his constituency. This is for other people, and he's still unwilling to do it. So, but this is the issue, and this is what I think is really telling about who Joe Biden is as a leader, as a legislator, as a person in government, because it's been this way all the way through. But if you remember back to Afghanistan, the pullout was all precipitated because Joe Biden held fast to a plan that very quickly crumbled. His plan was to have the Afghan army take over control of the country and security of the country. The government would stay in. He would hit this arbitrary deadline that he created, and all of these things would fall into place quite nicely. As they started to not fall in place, rational people, thoughtful people, good leaders would pivot. They would change. They would do things differently because the circumstances have changed. They've gone different. Joe Biden didn't do that. He held fast to that, and it created a massive mess of issues, from security problems to not being able to get people out to stranding Americans who are still in Afghanistan, by the way. Like, that story's not over. Still SIV holders, still Afghan allies, still Americans in Afghanistan unable to get out. Granted, we're like 5 news cycles beyond that because there's been trash after trash after trash from this administration, but Afghanistan's still happening. But that's the issue. It was happening because Joe Biden is incapable of changing his mind or doing something different as the situation necessitates. It's the exact same thing here. So months and months ago, the Democrats thought it was a great idea to tie these two bills together. They thought that if they can get the infrastructure bill, which kind of is a bipartisan deal, everybody was together on, and the $3.5 trillion deal together, they're gonna join these two so that the votes are aligned with each other. And this is a way to put pressure on Republicans to do this, and a way to put progressive ideals into what otherwise would seem like a pretty ordinary bill. They tied those two together months ago. As that started to not work, it would have been very easy for Joe Biden to just say, hey, let's get the infrastructure deal done. This is the one we want to get done. This is the one that's most important. This is the one that we've told the American people is necessary to their health and well-being because it is crumbling bridges and roads and broadband to all sorts of areas that are otherwise unserviced. Those calls for how important that is lose weight when you attach it to bills that are seemingly less important or seemingly much grander or much larger or need a lot more time to go through. They've killed that process. So now he's holding tight to the idea that these have to be held together. They must be voted on at the same time. He's told the progressives that. He's trying to get them down to a place that they don't want to go. He's trying to get Manchin and Sinema up to a place they don't want to go, rather than just taking these two bills separately, making one pass, and then start talking about the other bill. And he's kowtowing to progressives who are holding that infrastructure bill, which he said was so vitally important. He's kowtowing to them, holding that bill hostage. And it shows just an utter lack of leadership, an utter lack of gravitas, which is amazing because he's been doing this since he was 12 years old. He's been in the Senate and in government for 70 years, and somehow doesn't understand how to put pressure on people as the president of the United States to go his way, to do what he wants them to do. It's unfathomable that he's holding tight to all of these spoiled plans from months ago, and is now creating havoc inside his own party with the legislative agenda that he's looking to get done, with our infrastructure plan, which again is a bipartisan bill. Like, this should be cake to send through. And for some reason, he can't get that done because he wants to tie it to another bill, which no Republicans want, no Republicans will vote for. And this is the guy who's supposed to be creating unity. This is the guy that's supposed to be good at reaching across the aisle and working with other people. It's utter foolishness. And anybody who voted for him under that guise should be horribly disappointed, should be a little bit in that regret. And you can see that in his poll numbers, going from 52% down to like 38%. Like, his disapproval rating has skyrocketed. His approval rating has plummeted. People are recognizing Joe Biden for what he is, which is not only incompetent, but it's also just blindly arrogant about what he knows, what he is capable of doing. And the two of those together, being incompetent and arrogant, are horribly dangerous for this country, because you don't even see the things that you're missing. You don't even recognize all of the failures that you're just laying the ground with behind you. You're salting the earth with failure, and he's not even aware of it. He's blaming other people for it. It's a catastrophic presidency at this point, and we're only 10 months in. It's amazing to see failures of this magnitude not being called out, not being distanced by the administration. They're still wholeheartedly going into this. Jen Psaki is a great example of this, consistently coming forward with failure excuse after failure excuse after failure excuse, and then having the audacity to be smug and condescending to the very press that is holding them accountable for this stuff. I'm thinking because her expectation was that they would be on her side, they would be a friendly press, and they have turned a little bit on her, and that's because the American people have turned. We are the ones who will write that story. We are the ones who can hold them accountable in Afghanistan, with the economy, with the border. All of these failures are things that are going to affect us, and we need to continue to hold them accountable. But Joe Biden is at the root of all of those problems because he is incapable of transitioning, incapable of moving, incapable of changing when the situation dictates. Thank you very much for watching. Again, this is Chad with Drawn and Cornered. We do bite-sized little portions like this every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. You'll see us on the weekend if anything big happens. If it's the sort of thing you like, definitely subscribe below. If you think I'm crazy, perfect, dead on, completely wrong, leave a comment down below. It greatly helps out the channel. Thank you very much, and I will see you again tomorrow.